I got to kick this thing off. Can I kick it off? 1, 2, 3, 4. Ladies and gentlemen, listen.
Hi, I'm Marika Moore, and if you want to get all up in my business, you should check out my new book, Unsolicited Marriage Advice, where I provide an analysis of the best marriage advice that I've received over the past 16 years or so. So head on over to Amazon and buy it now.
Conversate with Us Radio presents the Man Listen Show. We are the blackest radio show on the internet. We bring you our opinion on topics that affect the black community in an effort to enlighten, enrich, and empower every brother and sister that falls under the sound of our voice. We operate on a no-hating frequency, so be prepared for us to keep it 100% real and 100% black all the time. Please follow the show on Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky fan base. We don't deal with them other folks no more. Make sure you go to the link in our bio on Instagram. Click that. You can find our books. You can find our merchandise. It's getting cold. Get you a hoodie. And just make sure you tell everybody about the blackest radio show on the internet, the Man Listen Show. I'm your host, Mark B. Let's bring the crew in. Yeah, so, we had to get off X. I think the account still might be there, but, you can find us on Fanbase. You can find us on Blue Sky. Those are the platforms. And also Threads, too. Yeah, you can find us on Threads. A lot of people said they were just disabling their X accounts because of Elon Musk and his involvement with the election, and his proximity to Donald Trump. You think that's fair or foul that people are moving away from X? I mean, it probably should have happened a long time ago because the dude's been what he's been this whole time. So I don't know why just the election spurred that on. But what do y'all think? Did y'all disable y'all's X accounts, or are y'all still using it? Put you on the spot.
I think it might be that ad that circled around really explaining how much influence he had over the election because, I knew he had been tampering with it, but I never really used Twitter, so I can't really say. I did close my account after I saw that ad, but I mean, it's like me boycotting stuff I never use again. But at the same time, yeah, once I saw that advertisement, I was just like, oh, so yeah.
Yeah, I only really use Twitter if I wanted to see a sports clip, say somebody got knocked out and I wasn't watching the fight or something, or say my squad Arsenal scored and I wasn't watching and I wanted to see it. X was good for that. People uploading the clip of whatever happened, and other clips too that that rhyme with corn. It was good for that, but we're gonna get away from it. That's not a good enough excuse to stay on X.
I forgot you were into the French horns and music and stuff like that. But no, I deactivated mine. I think it's completely fair. You can't, if you're gonna be a person in the spotlight or a person that not necessarily even in the spotlight, but if you're a person that makes business decisions and you use that business for what you see fit, what you think is best, it may not be what the majority thinks is the best thing, then you have to, live with the consequences. Every decision you make is a business decision.
I don't think he even really cares either. I mean,
yeah, no. I mean, I'm sure he'll lose some ad revenue, but I mean, that's not he'll recoup it somehow. It's still a lot of Cybertrucks rolling around, so.
Yeah, but ever since I closed my account, now I keep getting these emails from Twitter talking about some suspicious login. Just log into your account and change your password. I was like, my account's closed. I feel like you're trying to trick me into opening my account back up just to make sure nobody's trying to get in my account. But
did y'all just log out, or did you disable your account?
I deactivated mine.
Okay.
Yeah. At first I had just logged out, and then I went back in and actually deactivated it.
Okay. That's what I need to do. I mean, I had just been, consciously not going to it. I logged out. But I need to go ahead and deactivate it then.
Right.
I mean, he's already accomplished what he wants to accomplish. I mean, he's
right.
When he purchased Twitter and he changed it into X, I mean, people talked about how it's not good having the richest man on the planet, with unfettered access to something that controls so much media.
Hmm.
And people spoke out against it, but they allowed it to happen. And basically, he used that to get himself in a position where he has unfettered access to the presidency now. He's been, neck and neck, been arm to arm, shoulder to shoulder with Trump ever since, the election happened. They've been at the UFC fights. They've been all over. And so he's going to leverage this to his advantage. He's even going to get richer. With Starlink and Neuralink and and the iRobots and the different things that he has going on. I mean, this dude, he's set to take over the world. And I wish I was being hyperbolic, but don't be surprised. You know what I mean? If he does with all the things that he has in place.
Pinky in the brain.
Yeah, on some real stuff, for real, on some real stuff, because the one thing, like we always talked about it, how the Republicans, they know how to wield power and they know how to use it to put themselves in a better position. And you've seen today, hate to date the show, but special counsel that was going after Trump for, the January 6th riots, they said, we're going to go ahead and just close it out. We're gonna go ahead and just close it out. We're not going to pursue it anymore. Because honestly, I don't know if it's because they feel like, okay, since he's going to be taking office, it's going to get shut down anyway, or if they're worried about the potential retaliation. Probably a little bit of both.
Right, but yeah, they're not going to be in office to see it through. If they haven't completed it by now, what's the point? Nobody's going to pick it up. He'll be out of office come January 20th anyway. So I mean, he'll be out of a job January 20th. So
yeah. I mean, but can they go after them though, Arika? I mean, as an attorney, is it possible for them to retaliate in any sort of way? I mean, can they go after like their legal credentials, or are they just going to like try to dig to try to, go out? Because they spoke out. I can't remember who it was, but it was somebody for the Republican Party. They was talking about the Attorney General for New York. It's a black woman. And they got real grimy with it. It was talking about if you don't, call off what you're doing, we're gonna go after your fat ass, call her a fat ass and everything. I mean,
Yeah.
just crazy, So I don't know. I mean, you still got Atlanta, and Atlanta probably was the best case against him, but that they had the whole shenanigans with, the what's her name, Fonnie Willis.
Funny. Mhm.
Fonnie Willis and
Gorilla Grip. Yeah.
They'll say that. Body Willis and oh boy, that was the contractor or whatever, and everything that was going on. So I don't know if they even be able to go forward with that, because that might have just been tainted, because they couldn't not, keep it in the pants. But what you think, Aretha?
I mean, the thing about it is like the person that he selected to take over the attorney general spot since Matt backed out. I can't remember her name right now, but she has already stated she was already in support of retaliating against people who were wrongfully pursuing cases against Trump. So I feel like he chose her because he wanted that to be a part of the agenda. I
For
mean, the
sure.
question is, what are they going to do? Because you can go after people and then the courts find it groundless, but they've already spent so much money on legal fees and have lost their positions and things like that. So even just the attack itself can be impactful on people's lives, whether or not anything actually comes from it. So just the administration, even having any type of agenda to go after people is enough to make people say, hey, I need my livelihood. So, I mean, being hesitant, I understand it to, try to stand up to this administration. Some people will do it, but those people probably got fewer mouths to feed at home than other people. So we'll see.
Her name is Pam Bondi, and she
I
said
kept thinking it ends in an I.
yeah, she vows to prosecute the bad prosecutors that went after Trump.
Hmm. The bad prosecutors, as determined by her.
As determined by him.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, as determined by him. I don't know. You saw how like your boy Gates, like this dude had all kind of sexual harassment. I want to say he had something with a minor too. I'm not for sure on that,
Yeah.
but
they paid some minors.
he paid my. Oh my God.
Yeah, paid her twice. Yeah.
But the thing that put him out was that he had a threesome. That was when they was like, oh no, dog, that's just too much, dog. I heard it was like that's the reason why he backed out, because they were just like, nah, dude, Like there
I
was
thought it was because
multiple.
they had the receipts for the money. That's what I thought it was.
They had the receipt. Wait a minute. Wait.
Hey,
Right.
always use cash. Yeah. But he had to however they transactions.
No
They were
Cash
able,
App, no Venmo. You know,
exactly. No Cash App, no Venmo, no Apple Pay, none of that.
leave it on the nightstand.
No
Hit
Google
the
Pay,
ATM two
Rika.
days before.
All right. Yeah, run it through your attorney. You know what I'm saying?
Not me.
Hey.
I'm good on that, but yes.
And we definitely not endorsing, paying for sex with minors. Definitely not doing that. So we joking, but damn, that's crazy. I don't know.
Yeah.
They got RFK Jr. He's going to be over, the health, the king anti-vaxxer. Some people are kind of excited about it, and some people are like, how is this going to work? Because for a lot of people, they said there's things that the U.S. government does with our food and different things that need to be adjusted. And apparently, I haven't followed this guy. I think he's a kook, personally. Um, they said that there's something, obviously, we talked about it. If you've traveled outside of the country and you've eaten food outside of the country, you can see how the food tastes different. It looks different. You see a chicken in Mexico or somewhere else, and you'd be like, damn, this is a pigeon ankle. You know what I
Man,
mean? But
exactly.
this an ankle. What is this? And then you come back to the States, you see how beefed up and injected all of our stuff is. So a lot of people are excited that he might, put some policies into place to affect that. But how are you going to have somebody who is quote unquote an anti-vaxxer? And I don't know if he's 100% an anti-vaxxer or if he's just like, I'm against COVID vaccine or whatever. But you have that type of person that's over that department. Man, it seems like it's going to be a big shakeup. And I'm just wondering how's that going to affect us as a people.
Maybe we'll stop having listeria recalls every week.
Bird flu, right? Or stuff. But no, but I think
That's gonna always happen.
yeah, no, that's gonna always happen. It is, but I think as far as it'd be different, I would think, if he was saying you can't get the vaccines, right? I think it will probably be option instead of mandatory for certain ones, and it'll still impact society as a whole. But I think people that choose to get the vaccinations, they won't be necessarily as impacted.
Was the COVID vaccine ever mandatory for anybody?
Federal
A lot of
employees.
companies you had to
Federal
workers,
employees.
yeah.
Hey, listen, I was all for it, man. Shoot,
Yeah.
I
I
wasn't.
lost, I
Look who's
lost,
alive.
I lost family members. Hell, I was super duper sick, and almost lost some more family members to COVID. So, I'm all for it. Technology is there for a reason. I mean, we use it for other things. Why don't you think you can use it for something to benefit us health wise? But I do think that people have the right to decide. But I was definitely during the height of the pandemic, I was mad at you anti-vaxxers because I was like, man, y'all gonna go ahead and get this damn, what do they call it in England? Go ahead and get the jab, so we could go back outside. Shit, I'm tired of being inside the house, man. These people don't like me here.
See, I was perfectly fine in the house. That was part of my problem. I'll stay like this. I don't have to go from court to court all day. I can just log on to my computer in my pajama pants. Well, I was living a life.
Yeah. See, that's one of the things that we talked about Elon earlier. Him and this Department of Governmental Efficiency, Doge, which I find corny because remember he was behind the whole Dogecoin thing back in the day, that big pump and dump that people have. You don't remember that?
Mm-mm.
I don't remember him being behind it, but yeah, I do remember Dogecoin.
Well, I'm gonna tell you how he was involved in it. I don't know if I can't. So behind it may be strong, but here's how he was involved in it. Remember everybody was buying Dogecoin and trying to, they were trying to play into the big pump and dump that they had. And Saturday Night Live had Elon on as a host, and they kept saying if Elon says Doge on Saturday Night Live, it's gonna make it go to the moon. So during his monologue, he said Doge or something like that or whatever, and supposedly it elevated the cost of the asset. But The reason why I brought that up is
Mhm.
because they're looking at how they can make the government more efficient. And the big thing about that is they want to make sure all government employees come back to the office. So you talked about, hey, I was fine being at home. There's a lot of people who were who were working remote, and they're like, yo, everybody needs to come back to the office because they know there's a lot of people who have moved to different states. They have a lifestyle that isn't conducive to them going into the office. So they know they're going to be like, I'll just find another job or I'll quit. And it's a voluntary termination. So they're like, okay, right then and there, we're saving money on the government employees, which this is a black show. We all wearing black today. I wonder how that's going to impact black people because, like I was saying before, the federal government is a huge employer of black people. So I don't know what y'all think.
I'm worried
No,
they're gonna let all these people go and then
yeah,
hire people at lower wages. That's what I'm worried about.
yeah, that's it too. I honestly think though that a lot of the jobs that they're expecting to people to quit, I don't think they're going to backfill them. Though, like you said, it's they, those in power now, and the people that voted for him always think that the government has overreached too far and the government is too big and needs to be streamlined. So a lot of these jobs, unless it's essential, I don't think they're going to backfill them.
Nah, yeah, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough on a lot of us. It's gonna be tough.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Maybe there'll be some retirement packages though.
Not if you don't, you that's what he's saying. So they like, boom, you got to come back into the office on June 1st. And if you moved or you can't come back in office and you're supposed to retire on July 1st, they're not gonna grant you that extra month guaranteed. They're gonna be hard. It's gonna be a hard line in the sand.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I wonder how that's gonna play out though, because if you permitted me to accept this job under these terms and then you try to change the terms of the position, I wonder if that's something you could challenge. It's going to take you a long time and you'll be working somewhere else by the time it gets resolved, but
Right, right.
still,
But that happens
you might
every day
have
though. That happens
to-
every day. People's businesses or companies say, "Hey, we hired you here, but we need you. Your job is moving here or doing this." So I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, you better hope you get one of them judges that Biden or Obama put in the office because you get one of them
Mhm.
Trump judges, you know what I'm saying? You short.
right.
You
Yeah.
short for real,
I guess it
So
depends on whether you have an employment contract or if you're just an at-will employee. Because an at-will employee, they can change it whenever they want to. But if you actually have a contract with terms, then they're gonna have to wait till those contracts expire
Yeah,
to
they will.
renegotiate.
yeah, but they're gonna take it to court just like Drake. Yeah. Did y'all see with Drake? What's
Yeah.
up? What's up with your boy Drake? What's up with Drake?
Hey
So
man, he's from Canada, but he's making himself more American every day. We are a litigious, happy country. So,
so
hey, do what you got to do, man. If you
so
feel like you can gain anything,
let's talk about what he's gonna gain from it. So basically, what Drake is doing, for those who don't know, he is suing. He's suing Universal Music Group and Spotify because over the summer he had the big beef with Kendrick Lamar, and Kendrick came out with "They're Not Like Us," or the song's called "Not Like Us," and it just blew up and was everywhere. Everybody was playing it. You heard it in all the clubs, all the radio stations, nonstop. Kendrick did the big concert in LA. They did it like 4, 5, 6 times, and it was just massive. And you had so many people singing this song that is anti Drake. So, Drake's alleging that Kendrick paid to manipulate the streams. So they have like bots and different things that said, like, okay, that there was more streams than there actually was for this song. And because it was a song that is anti Drake, he was affected by this. So he decided to sue Universal Music Group and Spotify. I don't know why he didn't sue Kendrick, but I guess he went after them because they got all the money. But what does this look like? Number one, Arika, do you think he has a case? Because we're gonna start with the attorney, and then second, we're gonna talk about how you get into a rap battle and then you sue instead of coming back with more rhymes. Like I know people gave J. Cole a hard time because J. Cole said he didn't want to be a part of it, but this got to be considered ultra weak if you're suing because of somebody's song about you.
I think that initially I was just like, this is so lame. But I think the fact that he didn't sue Kendrick is the redeeming factor in this because what he's basically saying is it's not about the rap beef with him and Kendrick. He's not talking about what Kendrick had to say about him. He's saying that the music industry is manipulating the popularity of the song, which is something we all thought they did. We all know that they overplay the hell out of some shit and enforce it down your throat. And next thing you know, it's this big song that nobody actually really listened to. So I mean, I'm all for suing the record industry. We already think that they're trash anyway, and that they only, hype up songs that are harmful to black people. So if he can actually prove that they were doing exactly what he said they was doing, that's going to be monumental because that's going to change not only how these people are getting boosted to the top when they're trash, but also how they're getting these awards in these awards industries when nobody's like, I didn't even really like that. So I think that'll help indie artists more than it will actually help Drake, if that makes sense. Because there's no reason that more people don't know about Rhapsody when everybody that I know that knows about her loves her, but she's not huge because she's not getting the same type of push, but they're not pushing her because they're not pushing that type of music. So I think this might lay the foundation for us to be able to really expose how they're manipulating what's popular or what's being heard the most based off of whatever information comes out from this case. So I'm interested to see how it goes at the very least.
You know what? You made an excellent point, counselor. Because if it's weak on its face value, it's weak, right? I think it's weak. But if it exposes the wizard, right, behind the machine, then you're right. It does make sense because one of the things that we've always said that the record industry, number one, they only promote stuff that is negative for black people. If it's negative for anybody else, they're gonna squash it immediately. They're not gonna let it see the light of day. We've even had people speculate, are they taking out insurance policies on these dudes? You know, I watched the documentary, The Honorable Shine. It talked about Shine and how he was before he got incarcerated, and people speculate, okay, so why are y'all giving Shine a record deal and he's incarcerated for 10 years? Like, what are y'all promoting? What are you trying to push out? And we've always said that, right? We've always said that they promote the negativity only for our community. And they've always found a way to steal from us. And I've said it before, and I know you all have, I think you all have as well. We don't really need them. Like, we are the asset. We are the people, the athletes. We are the entertainment. We are the musicians. They have cornered the distribution and the business, and they've used that to get rich off of our backs. And when people started getting more savvy about, okay, royalties, mechanical royalties, the different things that go along with how you get paid from being a music artist, then as technology evolved and it went to streams, it went back, the power went back to the record labels, right? Because I think a lot of these artists, they getting paid what, like not even a penny or like fractions of a penny on each stream. So if you look at a song, like you go on Spotify, and you can see like, okay, this has been streamed 3,000 times, and then you multiply it by 0.000089 or whatever it is. The artist ain't really getting paid. So
right,
you're right,
actually
Enrica.
think
If this exposes that and how they coming up with these numbers and how they, and not only that, now let's get in, like I know I've been talking for a minute. If it exposes how they are putting and bolstering the numbers for these industry plants, that'll be a big deal too.
Yeah, no, I was just saying you mentioned about you can see how many streams. I want to say I read Spotify had its largest profit amount ever last year because they actually demonetized a lot of the streaming. So if you don't, there's a threshold, there's a baseline. Whereas if your song maybe didn't reach 100,000 streams or something like that, then they're not going to pay you anything. And so, yeah, it's something where they deem you have to reach there's a bottom threshold before they're going to give you anything. And so you think about it like that. A lot of cats, when we was growing up, they was selling stuff out the trunk of their car. You know what I mean? So they still could do that in the city and give people the links or whatever like that to connect. But if they're not reaching that broad fan base and getting all these streams up, then they're really not getting any money. So I always wonder why I would see smaller independent artists say, I'm not putting my stuff on Spotify, or be like, we're gonna go to SoundCloud or whatever this other stuff is. And it has everything to do with the way Spotify is uses their algorithm or whatever to generate how much, or to determine how much money you get. But
so you're right, but it's 1,000 streams. So the threshold.
Oh, okay. I did okay.
Yeah, it's a little bit lower. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which if you got any type of record label push, you should be able to get 1,000 streams.
Right, but I'm talking about independent artists who, like I said, used to just slang on the side out their trunk and stuff like that. You're not gonna get those. Those cats are getting forced out the game.
Yeah.
Just making it harder.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's funny that this came out. Kendrick dropped his latest album a few days ago, and got a lot of buzz, especially on the West Coast. A lot of people on the West Coast really jamming. It's got a few cuts on there. But Drake had been quiet, man. But I don't know, man. This seems like that other side that he got inside of him. This seems like, this seems like a Karen move to, I'm gonna go ahead and sue because of how this affected me and because this song really wasn't big as it was. And bro, I don't know about the actual numbers. If the numbers were inflated, it could be, right? But I do know that we heard that song every other minute. And up until that time, Kendrick wasn't the golden child of the record industry. It was Drake.
But that's why I think he has more of a case to be like, prior to that song, I don't know when the last time I heard a Kendrick song literally on the radio, like seriously. And so then all of a sudden the song comes out on Tuesday and then come Wednesday, Thursday, it's everywhere. I'm gonna say
first of all, the song was a banger. The song was an absolute banger. They had been going back and forth. They had been going back and forth, right? And then, the song's a banger, and then it hits YouTube, especially when you put the video out, because the song came out before the video. When the video came out, damn, he was like, 7 million views within an hour or some crazy shit like that. I know I don't have the exact numbers.
Yeah. But
I feel like, man, that it was, to me, the numbers seem legit. I don't know. Let me look at Spotify.
No, I don't think the streams might be legit, but the way that they got the stream, the way that they got the airplay, it's kind of like the old payola, what they used to call it. You pay X amount of money, then the big companies say, okay, if you give us this amount, we're going to make sure, because again, most radio stations is conglomerates now. It's like 5 people that own all the radio stations. And so if you pay them, they're going to make sure it's on in Detroit. They're going to make sure it's on in LA. They're going to make sure it's on in Seattle. They're going to make sure it's on in Miami. So.
And then part of the lawsuit says that when people weren't searching for it, it would redirect them to the song, even if they weren't looking for it. So if I type in something else, the algorithm will redirect me to that song. So that's still going to give it a stream because I still went to it, but it wasn't what I was looking for.
So you're saying that Elon Musk, they're not like us. That's what they did.
I mean,
basically,
but here's the question. Here's the question though. If Drake was their darling, right? Drake was their darling. Why would they try to take down Drake?
Well, that might be some behind the scenes stuff that he know that we don't know. That might be more reason, because you're not going to get a whole team of lawyers to just file a lawsuit against Spotify and UMG. It's not about no quick lawsuit.
Yeah.
Shit, you can find an attorney. They be like, hell, why not? Drake gonna pay my hourly rates. So I'm gonna go ahead whether I can make this happen or not. Shit,
You
you
still got
would.
to make it make sense. You can't go in front of a judge not making
Right.
sense.
You gotta have
You
You
got to
just
something.
have
did
a
it.
leg
You
to
just did
stand
it
on.
in 20 seconds. I know you. So you might as well get paid. Hell.
That's not, no, they're
Now
going to
she
have
was
50
recapping what
lawyers
they
on one
did.
side and
Yeah.
50 lawyers on the other side. They're going to be arguing
Yeah.
for years.
Plus there was a part in that what I read where it said that they told him that, yeah, that's what happened. Basically, if you file suit, we'll file suit with you. So it seems like he might have some inside information, some inside knowledge. I don't know, or his
Yeah,
lawyers have some info. So
it said also they wanted him to sue Kendrick. And he
yeah,
was like,
yeah,
no. And they said, if you don't, then they're going to bring Kendrick into it. So now Spotify and them is talking about joining Kendrick to the lawsuit, even though Drake didn't initially sue him.
yeah,
So I think they're trying to make it a spectacle, and they try to probably use that to deter him because they know makes him look more like a bitch if he sues Kendrick.
I'm going to say that's strategy because they know if
yeah.
they pull in Kendrick, then that'll effectively kill whatever reputation he still
Yeah.
has. I mean, that's weak.
I mean,
Arguably more damages.
it goes back to what you said, and it's so ironic, I guess you could say. Talking about the only promote his largest song ever was the one directly disrespecting, denigrating another black man. That's his largest song ever. And this is the song we're talking about.
Hmm.
Yeah, well, yeah. I can't refute that point.
Nope.
I can't refute
I
that.
mean,
And listen, and I'll team Kendrick.
relax. It's a
And I'll team Kendrick. And then the other piece too, though, I never really had too much of a problem with Drake. I can put people in certain boxes
Mhm.
and I can rock with them. Some of Drake's music, like the commercial stuff, I mean, I liked it, man. So, I don't have to hear all this, some of rap, man, really just got to a point where, with like the drill rap and the gangster rap that we came up on, I got to a point where that wasn't working for me anymore. It didn't suit me to hear violence and misogyny and drug use. Now coming up, hell yeah, I was a Mobb Deep fan, all the gangster rap. I listened to all of it. Um, but now it doesn't suit me because I see how it impacted us as black men. I've always said that on this show, how it impacted us in our psyche and how we approach one another and how we approach our women. So I felt like some of Drake's music, I mean, it was a nice vibe. It's a chill vibe. I know a lot of people, oh man, Drake's weak and he ain't really black, and they call him a female and they do all this type of stuff. And then here comes Kendrick, and Kendrick makes the allegations about the pedophile stuff and all that. And some of the stuff that Drake does, man, you like, yeah, bro, I couldn't hang with you, dude. Like, there's no way I can hang with you. But I still saw some value in his music. But I don't know. I think Arika, you make a good point. We got to see the benefit in this and how it could expose this and make it more beneficial for a lot of black artists to make money. And hopefully it's the black artists that are actually going to do something for the community, not these clowns that was promoting Trump and doing different shit like that, and selling out.
I
Yeah,
mean,
it
go ahead.
also, to me, no, I say it also just let you know just how tenuous your spot is as far as, because the same thing that you're participating in, they can turn on you that quick. We talk about Drake was the golden child, and boom, if this is true, then the industry just like, hey, we got to find another avenue to make this bread somehow, and they doing, so you never, it's never as good as you think it is, man.
I would like to see the numbers though, because I like to see the numbers. They Not Like Us, and compared to when Drake was battling against Meek Mill and some of the other battles he's had, and like how did the numbers compare? Because what makes them think like, ain't no way, that that's
Now,
real.
guarantee you, the Meek Mill song didn't leave urban radio. It didn't leave quote unquote urban radio, but you could turn on any pop mix, whatever, in any city, and They Not Like Us is playing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
I don't
and
know.
I
I don't
think
listen to those. I don't listen to those
that
stations, so I'm gonna take your word for it.
Now I'm telling you, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
I think because Drake is so big too, because Drake mostly does pop.
Right.
So
Yeah.
he's drawing that crowd anyway. So things involving him is going to draw that crowd.
But the Meek
And I,
Mill didn't know. That's what I'm saying. The
yeah, I
Meek
don't
Mill
think he was
verses
big
did.
enough. I don't think he was big enough, but I think it's interesting that, like you said, after that song, and basically talking down on a black man, now he doing the Super Bowl, all this other stuff. So it is interesting. I'm curious to see. I don't want to see the numbers because I don't care that much, but I'm curious to see
Right.
how the lawsuit plays out.
And
You
I
think
and
you?
I always wondered, like, how I said, I wonder how Kendrick actually feels about the whole situation, because he has been out here making, by most accounts, classic music for a decade. And then this Venom track where he's just spitting with anger and hostility is the one that gets him, not the more thoughtful music. I wonder how he feels about that.
Yeah, he had Grammys before this though, didn't he?
No, I'm not talking about Grammys. I'm talking commercial success is different than Grammys. And then when I say commercials, I'm talking about that's his biggest. I
Okay.
mean, yeah.
Let me be fair and play. Let me ask you this question. I know you. We friends.
Uh-huh.
Now, you're you're not a fan of Kendrick. You don't like. You're
Right.
not a fan
That
of his.
doesn't mean I don't like.
I
I'm
got you.
not a fan. Right.
I get it. I'm not trying
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
mischaracterize it, but you're
Yeah.
not a fan of his music. I will say this, that Kendrick did have a lot of fans before this, and
For sure.
Kendrick was selling out arenas globally. So he did have the popularity, maybe not commercially like Drake, because he didn't make the bubblegum music like Drake,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
But he, for what he does, his recounts of the hood and LA, he documents LA culture, LA lifestyle 100%. It was working for him because, like I said, they don't get paid out the streams, they don't get paid out the record sales anymore, but they do get paid when they put asses in the seats.
Yeah.
This
Mm-hmm.
dude has been doing tours globally and selling them out.
Yeah, I don't know about that. All I know is I guarantee if you look at the numbers from the streams, that song versus any other song he's had, I don't think it would even be close.
I definitely caught lightning in the bottle. He did.
Yeah.
He did. He did. He did. Yeah, but that doesn't mean like he just wasn't. I guess my point was that doesn't mean he wasn't selling nothing. Or
No. I'm just saying, I'm not saying he
whatever.
was a
Yeah.
nobody. Like I said, everybody who, for the most part, 9 out of 10 people gonna say he been making classic albums for years.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But the crossover is what I'm talking about. That gets you different type of money and a different type of access. That's what I'm talking about. He never had that to an extent that he does now.
And I don't even know if he really has it though, bro. Because he's not.
Again,
He's
just
not making
listening.
crossover music.
No. But
That
that's
particular,
that
because
one
this
song.
latest album, it ain't cross. It's more commercial than he's probably put out in the past, but it's definitely not commercial music.
Right. But access to that person, though, because if you're a Kendrick fan, you're going to buy it regardless, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then you have a new marketplace with these people that never really heard Kendrick or never listened to him. And now they're bumping it at college basketball games. They not like us, or NFL stadiums. They not like us, I mean, or on, like I said, Mix 94.8 or whatever station you want to name in the middle of Bangor, Maine. It's going to be on there. So those people who necessarily didn't listen to him, they might not buy this, but they might give it a look that they would not have given it elsewhere or any other time, is what I'm saying.
Y'all think he got the Super Bowl because they're not like us?
Yes.
You think so?
I'm not going to say because they're not like us, because again, he been making what people say albums for, I don't know, 10, 12 years, bangers. And that just cemented it, I guess. I cemented it.
I mean,
Does
I
he
might
does
agree
he
with that.
do they not like us at the Super Bowl?
Got to. Has
Yeah,
to.
he has to. He has to. Yeah.
But see, but my thing is, I think that like we said about Monique, there has to be some element of current popularity. And so like
Yeah.
Usher did the residency in Vegas and people started talking about him and streaming his music a lot more. And then he did
Mhm.
the Super Bowl. And then he get this summer song and people started talking about him more. And he's in these new spaces. And now he gets the Super Bowl. I think there's an element of who's hot right now. And if there's a lull in that, then they may go with an old classic if they can get him. Like Rihanna ain't did shit in forever, but I think that there has to be some element of being pop. Hey man, she been talking about giving us an album since 2015, 16. But yeah, but I think there's some
Hey,
element of
Super Bowl's
popularity.
about if you got bangers though. If you
Yeah.
got bangers and your ability to perform, that's why that whole fake outrage about Lil Wayne,
Nah,
like, come on. First of
nah,
all,
nah.
look, you talk about not crossing over commercially. Wayne has not. Now he might have put out some classic materials for some people. Wayne has not.
Hey,
And if
and
you have seen any type of performance of Wayne online or what have
exactly.
you, hey, that boy Orlando Brown,
Aesthetically, he doesn't look good enough for the Super Bowl anymore.
he don't, man.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Yeah,
this is the thing, whether you like it or
Mhm.
not, forget that it's in New Orleans.
Right.
Mhm.
The
So
Super Bowl,
give me PJ Morton in New Orleans
right?
shit over Wayne.
Hey, why you
or
playing?
or
Why you
Boney
playing?
Jan or Trombone
Kendrick is
Shorty,
the song.
somebody,
They've been better
Kendrick is
off they've been better off doing like a all-star thing and having
Yeah,
like cash money and no limit or whatever, but
yeah,
it's not going to happen because if there's one thing that is controlled by the advertisers, it's the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And they don't they can tolerate, the ushers, they can tolerate Kendrick.
yeah, Wayne.
They're not. They listen. You ain't gonna be able to
Bridge
take the
too far,
Magnolia and the
man.
Cali up onto the Super Bowl. You just
Not
not.
Yeah,
only
You're not
that,
gonna be able to do
but
it.
let's not forget that
Not that
Wayne
we
and
don't want to see it, but the people who are paying, they
I
don't
don't
want
want
to
to
see
see
that.
it. I
Hey,
don't want to see
I
it.
don't want
So
to see that.
but Wayne and Drake is in the same camp. You want to be in the Super Bowl? Ride Drake coattails.
Drake don't want to do Super Bowl. They
And
said
that's all.
they
That's
said
all.
Drake could have done a Super Bowl three or four times by now.
Yeah, well, but I'm just like, why I'm gonna play the song talking bad about your boy and you in the background waiting to come on. That just
man,
don't even make
right.
sense. That don't even make sense. Go home, Roger.
Not even really your boy, but my cash cow. Cause Wayne getting paid off Drake too.
Oh,
Hmm.
yes.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
whole
all
cash
full.
money getting paid off Young Money.
It's all full circle though. Drake had that song "Big as the Super Bowl."
Yep. Yeah.
That's
So
last year or 2 years ago, whenever that was. Yeah.
we're gonna see how it turns out, man. We got a lot. It's a distraction. I mean, obviously, have y'all noticed, man, that when Trump got, the nomination the first time, it was a lot more doom and gloom. Like we all felt like shit for weeks and a long ass time. But now I think we as black people are like we pissed off about it, but it's kind of like, hey, white folks gonna do what they're gonna do. So we're gonna have
Yeah.
to take our destiny in our hands and do what we have to do to, make sure that we are in a place to where we can protect ourselves and maintain our position in this country. Is that just me? I mean, I just ain't really seen people mad about it, but
Yeah. I tell people all the time, I know what state I live in, I know what country I live in. I'm not surprised.
Right. Not surprised. But you also have to, I think, part of it too is that you gotta, enough of the online. I'm so mad. Hey, time to get to work. It's time to actually roll up the sleeves and figure out some tactics and avenues that we can put ourselves in where we won't be in this position again in 2024. I mean 2028, because the Dems are, man, I don't who's going to be out there, what I mean? So it might be a run back of a JD Vance on the head of the ticket this time. You know what I mean? So
look, man, let me tell you something. Because Trump gonna find a way to run again.
yeah, man.
Because he gonna try to be like, well, it said 8 years, but there was a gap between mine. He gonna find a way
Right.
to try to make that happen. But the Democrats, man, they made a whole lot of mistakes. But I've consistently said that the mistake that they have made is that they got away from the strategy that Howard Dean put into place. Howard Dean was a presidential candidate. I think he might have been a senator or something. I can't remember what position he held, but he had to been a senator. And he was running for president, and he had this old, he had this TV moment where he was sounding crazy and yelling or whatever, and they was like, "Nah, dude, you don't have your emotions in control. You can't be the president." Now look what we got now, right? But Howard Dean then took over the Democratic National Convention, the party, right? He was the guy that was the president, or whatever they call it, the chairman of the Democratic Convention. And the strategy he put into place was, hey, we're going to go after every single state. We're gonna get people on the ground. We're gonna pursue every single state, every single position, House, the governor's mansion. We have to have boots on the ground. And since they put Obama in office, they've moved away from that. They don't have that personality that can get people to come out like Obama, right? Biden did it just because he was connected to Obama, and if we honest, the pandemic hurt Trump, and Biden was able to get in, right? But if they went back to that strategy, because you think about it, Trump was campaigning everywhere. Trump was campaigning in California. He was campaigning everywhere, and he never stopped campaigning when he got beat. He was always doing his little campaign rallies or whatever. And in those states where all I got to do is take off 1%, 2%, 3%, that's all you had to do to win.
Yeah.
So if you get 1% to 2% of the black folks in Detroit, and you going up there lying to them, talking about, you remember I got all them checks. You remember, you see how high the groceries are. What do you got to lose? And that's all they had to do. And the Democrats, that they got away from that strategy, man, and it's hurt them ever since. I've been saying this.
Yeah, let me just stop. Man, we already talked about it. Man, don't never say they took 1% or 2% of the black vote. The black people did what they were supposed to do, man. We voted how we were supposed to vote, man. So,
but Lab, I don't ever say that.
I know. That's why I say I know you've said it before.
But my point is this, though. If you have a state where the confidence rating or the number, the difference is 1% to 2%, 3%, 1% to 2% to 3% overall, and you chip away at 1% to 2% of black people, then it's going to flip it to your side. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but also that's the difference between having nothing and you being in office. So when you're in office, you honestly don't have the luxury to campaign as much as someone who has been campaigning, like you said, for the last 8 years.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. She ain't knocking on doors.
I understand,
it's the people on the ground. That's what I'm saying, man.
But you said Trump was campaigning. Trump was, but I'm saying so.
When I say Trump was campaigning, Trump was going after states like California. It was like, why you in California? You ain't gonna win California. You never gonna win California,
right? But that's what I'm saying. Right? She don't have that. She can't fly to 5 different states every single day. She can't do that in office because if she's doing that, then they're gonna say, look at her. She's neglecting her position right now.
Biden was running the office.
Right. And he wasn't going all them other places either. That's what I'm saying.
But I think you're missing my point.
No. I understand.
My point is ignore the fact that I said Trump went to California. Ignore that fact. My point is the investment in the groundwork, in the grassroots organizations that can go out and say, hey, black people in Detroit, don't listen to them. We need all of y'all. We can't afford to lose none of y'all. Hey, black folks in Milwaukee, we need all of y'all. We can't afford to lose any of y'all. Hey, I almost went there. Hey, Mexicans, you know what I'm saying? Don't listen to them. We need you for this. Hey, white women, we need you to stray away from your husbands. You got to have people on the ground. You got to make that investment, and they haven't done that. That's my whole point. That's my whole point. And on that note, I'm gonna end it right there because both of y'all being quiet, y'all gonna let me win. So anyway, Make sure y'all follow us on YouTube. Click that bell icon. Make sure you tell everybody about the show. Make sure you go to all of our social media accounts: Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, Fanbase, Threads. We on all of them. You can follow. You can follow our posts. You go to the link in our bio. Buy our merchandise. Rika got like 18,000 books. You can buy one of them. You can get your merchandise. And we'll holler at you next time. Peace. I forgot to
I
say.
see.
I forgot to say. Shout out to C.